network, KP Media TV. So I am so excited. We are here for a conversation of insight and intelligence. So I am going to just bring her on. So Keisha, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited you're here.
Hello, I am excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Kimberly. Yay. It's awesome being on your show.
I'm so excited you're here. That's awesome. Thank you. So making noise over here. So talk about pink icing first, because that's where you kind of really started to really magnify your business and help women. And obviously men too, but we're talking about women today.
Yeah, and that's okay. We can totally talk about women today because that's definitely a sweet spot for me for sure. So, where do you want me to start? Like, there's like so much of kind of how it came about. I want to say, Pink Icing, like you mentioned, is my marketing and branding agency. And, that specifically was really dealing with the needs of women business owners and entrepreneurs and really branding and creating high visibility for women out there. And so I had a true passion, still do have a passion for really supporting those types of businesses, as well as, I have men clients as well, right? But supporting them and getting that visibility, getting their message out there, their movement, their business, expanding them, allowing their communities and beyond their communities to really embrace their brand and what they have to offer the world. So for me, that was always really important. And just like everyone else that's been paying attention during this pandemic, one of the things that I particularly was focused on is my own pivot as far as in my industry and what that was going to look like. With the marketing agency, it pretty much picked up. It did, and I'm totally blessed about that. Picked up when the pandemic hit. So many people had to really kind of reinvent themselves and really think about, what do I need to do differently to get the visibility that I need? And so we did pick up, but we did add that other element, which you mentioned, which is here, the network, KP Media TV, which was just that extra layer that was more so insight and foresight of where we're going as far as streaming TV and how we were able to leverage that for our clients and hosts to get that extra level of visibility. And so we saw the direction of what was happening like during the pandemic and wanted to make sure to offer that and build that out. And that's when KP Media TV was born.
I love it. It like you said, it was a natural progression to even add that extra layer of help, because next month I'm talking about people creating platforms. Well, this could move right into that conversation as well, because you literally created a platform for both men and women to really get their voice out, get their message, their story, and really share their brilliance with the world. And, online is global. Your TV is global. So you have such a far reach to be able to touch those lives. And I just think it's such an important thing that you're doing.
Yeah, and that's the big thing about this too. It's like, being creative, and I'm glad you mentioned that you're going into that next month. That's going to be some nice conversation there. But being creative about what we have access to, I mean, there's like so much, and even beyond with social media. Right now, it's so saturated on social media because everyone is there. And it's like everyone is fighting to get their voice heard. They're, fighting to kind of rise above the noise, like, kind of my theme point that I continue to say. And so being creative about, platforms and creating spaces and communities that's really going to take you into that next level of visibility is really important right now. I mean, it's literally the difference between if you swim or sink, or if you swim or thrive and, go on to be an Olympian champion, right? And so that's why I'm particularly excited about all of everything that we're doing with the platform, because that's what we saw, and that's kind of how we're contributing to women entrepreneurs, businesses beyond that didn't really think that there was anything other than social media.
Right. So going back real quick to Pink Icing, how did you get into that, first of all? Like, what really fueled that fire for you?
You know what? I've been in the marketing and branding industry for, wow, almost 20 years. So it's been a long time. I'm not a new kid on the block. I've been around for a while. And just long story short, because it's a fair, it's a pretty long story, but I started out in business. I started out with a yearning for entrepreneurship, started very, very young with my first ventures at 18. I owned a restaurant chain in my early 20s. And so all of those things, when you're first, especially when you're that young, really experiencing entrepreneurship and being a business owner, you're wearing multiple hats. So you are the marketing person. You are the one that's going to be doing the branding. You are delivering the services. You are everything, right? And so that's kind of where my love for marketing and branding first began, because I had to do it for my own business. And it went from that to I ended up owning, me and my husband owned a transportation company for several years. Actually, for about 8 years, we owned that. And then, as things kind of went along, 2008 hit, the housing market situation, everything crashed, and you had to, again, reinvent and pivot and all of that stuff. But over all of that time, and even the time that I had with, consulting other businesses and entrepreneurs that were in their own respective industries, I really just felt a love and just attraction to marketing and the psychology behind marketing and, all of those things. And I was able to do these things very natural. So because of all that, when I decided to launch Pink Icing, which was, it's all around that very thing, marketing and branding. And this particular company, I actually launched in 2018. So it's fairly an infant, but I came out like gangbusters, and people they're like, wait a minute, you've only been back then, you've only been in business a few years with this business, but it looks like you've been around for years. And it's well, that's a lot to do with my 18 years before then, right? It's not like I'm new to business or marketing, but this is a new business. And so I wanted to provide that for other business owners and entrepreneurs, because I had done it so many times over. I've launched, scaled, I've done it over and over very successfully. So that's kind of where Pink Icing came about.
What I really liked about what you were saying is you have this unique experience because you've done different types of businesses and marketed and branded and up leveled them multiple different times. So anybody can come to you in any industry, and you can literally take them on a path to success.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like is my unique edge, right? You have people that'll step into the marketing space and they say, I've been doing marketing for all of these years for a company or in some other capacity, but very few can say that they have operated in different industries, from male-dominated. Transportation industry is a very male-dominated industry. So me being able to now resonate with women that are running male-dominated companies, I can resonate with that. I know the challenges firsthand, not I read a book or theory. I know firsthand what it's like and the things that you have to do and what things you can leverage in order to get to that next level. And then, with the restaurant business, when we're talking about the service industry business, I understand the challenges there. I understand the overhead of restaurant. I understand it down to its very cell. And so that's what makes us such in a powerful position as a marketing agency, because we can speak from a place of knowing and not theory or book knowledge, but a place of knowing. And so when we start creating these brands and supporting the marketing that fuels them and going into that next level of things, we're that much more effective because we know firsthand what they're dealing with.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And it really does give you a unique edge to really be able to dig deep and help people, because you've been there, done that.
Right.
Been there, done that, seen it. Experienced it.
Have a t-shirt and everything.
Sweat and tears, you've been there. I love that. So before we move on to the media TV show, let me ask you, because I love your Pink Icing. People don't think Pink Icing, branding and marketing.
Right.
And I love the title. Share a little bit about how you came up with that, because it's such a unique name for business, a branding and marketing company.
Yeah. So again, how I mentioned my love for women entrepreneurship and business, women business owners. That's, the pink stands for, it's almost similar to like red, love, right? And
Mhm.
so that part of it, my love for marketing and branding, which I absolutely love. I love design. I love creating. I love everything about it. I love just what it does, what it attracts, how it helps businesses. But then I also love, that pink stands for women business owners. I have a heart for women business owners and supporting what it is that they're doing in the world. So that's where the pink comes in at. The icing is the icing on top, the branding. What makes you beautiful, what makes you stand out, what makes you visible, like the icing on a cake or a cupcake. That's what we do. And so we start with, the stories and messages and the expertise of business owners. And we look at that and we're able to create like something truly amazing for them in the online space that truly allows their brand to breathe out and people can really see who they are through that visual element. So that's where pink icing comes in, and it's so catchy, everyone remembers it. And so that's the branding part. And Kimberly, remember I was doing so many events as well. And so I remember it was funny because one of our business colleagues and a really dear friend of mine, Brandy Kakoa, she said, we were mixing like, what were we mixing? Oh, we were in her apothecary and I was mixing up a concoction and it was a cream. And so we got the right oils in there and the smells and everything. And then Brandy smells it and she goes, "This smells just like pink icing." And I'm like, "What does pink icing smell like?" I mean, but the point is like, anytime you have a brand that hits to the core like that and resonates with people and they think about it in a certain way and they're making these connections, anytime you get any other sense involved, like smell, where they can like, "Oh my gosh, it just smells like who you are or who your brand is," that you've hit it. You hit the nail on the head. So
That
yeah.
that is amazing. Like you had a smell for your brand. That's unheard of. I mean, that is really getting to the core of branding. I love it. But that is your expertise and your brilliance. And I really wanted you to share that because it really shows that you truly, truly know what you're talking about.
Right.
It's such an amazing thing about you with your experience.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I love talking about you. I recommend you to everybody because I know you. So let's talk about KP Media TV.
Yes.
So you brought that on because you said it was a natural progression to really be able to add that extra layer of visibility to help businesses get their message out. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, one of the main things I feel like is very consistent with me, no matter if it's the events that I was doing in person, which we're not doing much of that anymore, but just even how my business is in-house, as well as KP Media TV, it's all about the experience. And that experience, obviously, with that high visibility piece is also very important when it comes to really getting yourself out there and allowing people to connect with who you are, who your brand is, what you represent, and then being able to make those connections and conclusions about how you're able to help them. And so with KP Media TV, it's a platform that does just that. Right? It allows you to not only have that high visibility, but also what we're cultivating is community. We're cultivating those relationships and those connections and the things that truly matter as far as long-term business growth. And so I feel like KP Media TV is just that. It's not just about, even though amazing as it is, we're on major platforms and things like that, and it obviously has global reach and you're able to leverage the names of these power media platforms, which is brand recognition, credibility, authority for our individual hosts. But it also gives us an opportunity to come together, to connect, to build relationship and community, which is super important for me. And then just the overall experience alone. I mean, I've seen it revive businesses that, in certain pockets of their business were a little drier than they wanted to, but just having this next level of freshness and creativity on how people are experiencing your business, your brand, your message, whatever it is that you're trying to get out there, is exactly what KP Media TV does. So I'm really excited to have brought this, brought this in the forefront for businesses now, which is not really out there right now.
I love it. I love it. And what's really awesome, and I want people to understand, is this media, the media TV, KP Media TV, you can have be in any industry and have a TV show.
Yes.
Like, you have people, why don't you talk about all the different types of shows you have, because they're really amazing and brilliantly done.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of everything. We have about 7 or 8 different categories, and every month we have a couple of our hosts that are debuting their shows. Like, people are getting ready, taking this thing very seriously. It's your brand, right? And so they're planning these things out. They're making sure that they have the hosts that are going to complement their brand and their shows. And that's what I'm loving too about this whole thing, is that our hosts are taking pride in what they do. And that's the community you're surrounded with. And I absolutely love that part. But we have literally everything you can think of. So we have like a foodie channel. So we have like Chef Tom is on our foodie channel. So anybody that's into like cooking, want a cooking show, any of that kind of stuff, we have that. We have also, you're able to do live shows as well, or live entertainment. So like when you talk about artists and musicians and those that want to put on live performances, but obviously can't gather in a space, we have room for you as well. That's part of the network as well. Business, leadership and empowerment, we have that as well. Literally every category you can think of as far as where a business owner would kind of be, we have a place for you. And our youngest guest, I always like to talk about our youngest guest, Kimberly. Our youngest guest, she just turned 10 and she's going to be on the foodie channel.
I love it.
Yes, she is so amazing. It's an amazing little superstar. She's actually been featured and been in a part of several roles in Hollywood, like, on Disney Junior and just different shows and movies she's been a part of. So it's really exciting having her. And she's super, don't fool yourself, her being 10. She's about her business. She's about her business. And she's totally passionate about it, and we're welcoming her even with open arms and wanting to support her and even getting to where she needs to be. So, age doesn't matter, industry doesn't matter, even experience level doesn't matter. We have people that are coming in that are just now even getting accustomed or comfortable with live streaming, and then those that have been in filmmaking, full-blown Hollywood scene and everything else 25 plus years. So we have a little bit of everything. We are a community that supports one another, so you don't have to ever feel like, well, I don't have, that particular skill, or we support. And a lot of our, the way we've structured it out as far as the training and all of that is really helpful for those coming on board that are even new to this whole world of TV and even live streaming. So
I think what you said is so important about, you're not only creating this platform for people to get their message out, and in any industry, at any age and any experience level, but you're creating a community that really helps and uplifts everybody within it. And I think that's so important, because you can jump on a network and there you are and there you aren't.
Right.
You're really cultivating a family within the KP Media TV family, really the community, the family. And you're able to reach out and talk to another host. You're able to really find that support, even from you directly, which I think is important for people to understand, because you are tangible. We can reach out and touch you, because I think that's such an important element within business. It's that people,
right. Yeah, and I think it's so important. And no matter what venture I've done in the past or even now with KP Media TV, for me, it's always going to be about community. Like, I can create all day long. I love to create. I've created so many different things. Kimberly, like the faucet turns on and it literally does not turn off, right? So I could literally create all day long. But for me, what's important is the community behind it. Like, you can do a thing, you can create a thing, but if there's like no community, or if you're not impacting and really supporting and helping people beyond just yourself, your business, and what it is that you have going on, it's kind of like that gets old. And that's not really, I feel, my purpose, at least in life, is to only benefit what I'm kind of doing in the world. It's also to affect other people and to be utilized in that way to get out these other messages. And so that's what it's always going to be that way with me, as far as building community around it. It's always going to be about building that support system around it. I mean, like you said, it's not I like to call it a transactional service. Like, you come in, you're a host, and this is what you do, and this is the subscription, and and that's it, and bye, that's it. It's like, no, like, how do we make this better? How do we make this a community? How do we support in the best way that we know how, in order for our hosts to really be successful on the network? That's why we rolled out the VIP media brand training. We rolled that out to help with production, to help with your marketing and monetization of your channel and shows. We care about that, right? And so those are the things that I will always contribute to, support, and really just really focus on whenever I'm building anything out. And that's KP Media TV is no exception.
Right, absolutely. And it's new, and it's already having milestones, I believe, and the future of it is just, it's unstoppable. Like, you have so many things in the works for the the media, and the growth of it is just going to be astounding. So for people to really, get their message out, I highly recommend getting in touch with Keisha.
Yeah, so it's really incredible. Like I said, like, I have this insight about kind of where we're going, because I always like to be like, yeah, I know what's trending now, but where are we going? I want to build something for where we're going, and I want to be a front runner in that. And if the network is front runner in that, that means our hosts are going to be front runners. Our content creators are going to be front runners. They are actually going to stand out beyond what everyone else is doing. Perfect example, like you mentioned, within the very first month, we had insane stats. A couple of the things that happened, like we had over 17,000 video views or show views on the network alone. That means people coming, viewing, watching them again, over and over again. One of the things that we have noticed that our hosts are experiencing, several have reached out to me regarding this, is that even now on their social media platforms, they're even increasing in their views and engagement. So not only is it like the direct impact and what they're experiencing on the network, but things that they have been trying to get going or to increase rapid fire, right? Which they weren't able to necessarily do as quickly, they were able to do all within a month. Like, typically it would take you like forever to get the kind of engagement that I've been seeing and the type of, views and things even on social media. So it just tells you what the power of leveraging this type of setup. Again, as we talk about leverage, we have a host that's like literally crushing it when it comes to brand deals. I mean, she's gotten large brand deals, Walmart, Target, Poise, and the list goes on. There's other ones. There's a couple confidential ones she's working on now, but it's all because she's leveraging the network. She's leveraging where she's at. She's leveraging the fact that not everyone can say that they have this space in this place in order to distribute content. And so that's, if you don't remember anything else when you walk away, having something that most people can't say that they have, and that has brand recognition as weighty as Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, those different names, that causes people to raise an eyebrow and to pay attention. And that's what we keep hearing. It's like, wait a minute, not YouTube channel, not knocking YouTube, but everyone can say I have a YouTube channel, whereas everyone can't say. And when we start looking at even just the comparison, when we start talking about streaming TV, when you click on streaming TV and you look at the TV apps that are available, they're heavy hitters. So you're among heavy hitters, not like the another like free version social media platform. No, you're amongst heavy hitting platforms. And the development that goes into developing this type of platform and the months of review and all of that, it's an investment. And it's not like I'm going to throw a penny in a well. No, it's an investment to do it. So because all of those things are reality, it helps the network hosts and content creators leverage this very unique thing that most do not have access to and close brand deals, close partnerships. Because that was the one thing one of our network hosts, Karen, she mentioned. She goes, well, when I'm filling out my application for my brand deals, you know, one of the questions on there, one of like the final questions is, okay, so what do you have or what can you tell us that you can do for us that no one else? And when she puts that on there, no one can compete with that. So it's a closed chapter, it's a closed deal. It's like, okay, yeah, let's work together because no one can compete. So
that is awesome. I want to point out what you said, that you're up there with the heavy hitters.
yes.
And for an example, so it's really easy, and I'll let you explain this too, on how to download, because everything's streaming nowadays. You download the channel.
Yeah.
And literally, my KP Media TV channel is right next to Food Network, Disney, and a few others that are heavy hitters. So when you see the little squares, when you pull it up on your TV, your channel is right there next to all of those. And that's huge.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. And see, I come from, what makes it nice, me coming from that marketing and branding, it's the positioning and it's the conversation that needs to happen around this topic of streaming TV. Because some people look at it, oh, you know, when you're, well, not some people look at it, but if you look at it just surface level, you're like, oh, I have this TV show. That's amazing. You're able to get reach. But if you really dig down into the psychology of what's going on here, when we look at streaming TV, like you mentioned, that's who you're next to. You download, like you said, you download the app. No different if you go on and download Netflix. No matter if you go on and download Hulu, you go on and download KP Media TV. That block shows up right next to your Netflix, your Hulu, your HBO, your all of those guys. And you're able to go in there and see your shows. They're able to go in there and see Unleashed with Kimberly, right? Live and their VOD channel. They're able to access all of that. And so that does something as far as where you are in your business and what your message is, your movement. When someone can go to those places and you're side by side, the heavy hitters. I mean,
literally are.
Yeah, it increases your credibility. It increases your authority. Now people are probably that didn't listen before about your coaching packages or whatever it is that you have. Now it's like, well, wait a minute, there has to be something to this because not everyone is able to do that thing. And so that's, you know, one of the things when we talk about, you know, messaging, even in the social media space, as far as this platform and opportunity, that's one of the pieces. And then also our development of our TV app was the same ones that developed HBO and Hulu. So it's not like this, like, you know, and it can't be like this, like, thing where it's just like, oh, you just learned how to start developing these things, we'll just grab you. No, because it's a different playground. Yeah. And so all of those things matter, and not to like toot our horn, but they matter when it comes to our network hosts. It matters when it comes to our network, the content creators, because you're able to leverage something that truly has significant credibility.
Absolutely. And you should toot your own horn because
okay, toot.
I'll toot with you. Your brilliance has allowed people to come together and get their message out, and that's so important. It's such an important reach for business, for personal, for everything, and growth and expansion. It's such an important thing. So I love it. And I think I love that you're like what we're talking about. The app is literally right up there. I think I even have HBO and Showtime right next to it. I should have taken a picture. It didn't dawn on me until right now, but like it really does make a big difference in, you know, as far as business, it's your credibility, it's your expertise, it's all of these things that come together.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of the things too, I feel like we have that unique edge with us, first being a marketing and branding agency, which Pink Icing is obviously that. But we're going to look at it through those lenses, right? And even like you mentioned, the things that we have coming up, you know, we're doing some stuff and kind of connecting with Hulu on some beta stuff that we're working through with them. I mean, this is like a spoiler alert right here. Like, I mean, we're always creating. I can't stop creating. Like, I cannot stop creating opportunity. It's just not in me. So if you're looking for someone to stop creating, that's not me.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, we're looking at different advertising opportunities where We're going to be able to feature the network, feature content creators, feature what's going on in direct partnership with some of these other, major streaming apps. And so, that's an opportunity. We're going to be doing PR around all of this because, again, we have the marketing agency, which is going to support what we're doing with the network. So we're really excited about the things that we're going to have rolling out over the next months, over the next year. It's only going to get better. Like I said, we're building community, but then we're also in this to support and see that next level of growth of not only the network, but of those that are part of the network. And that's something that's near and dear to my heart. And that's super important that we do. So.
Absolutely. I mean, if you created pink icing and a client turns around and says, this smells like your brand, and you're looking at your KP Media TV network through those same eyes and that same lens, imagine what's going to be down the road for the channel.
I know, it's going to be endless opportunity. I'm just so glad. It's kind of like one of those things where, all this stuff is going on, this craziness is going on right now. And, when you're able to get into a lane and identify an opportunity, and those that come a part of that, the community that comes a part of that, you really end up seeing some amazing success with it. I mean, it's just historically, if you just look at this over the years, it's something that's always happened. And that's where we're going as far as streaming. Even if you pay attention to the trending news right now as it relates to streaming TV, when you look at what is Hulu doing, when you look at what is Netflix doing, the changes that they're making, the fact that their growth is insane. Like the devices now, the streaming devices, I mean, it was already huge. It's already millions and billions. Right. But even the increase in all of that is just astronomical. And then for us to be on the front of this thing, we're not trailing behind and everyone's already there. And now we're trying to kind of get momentum coming in. We're the first ones getting into this space. It's very few of us that have really jumped on this opportunity, which gives us a nice position to really do some incredible things on the network. So the early adopters are going to win.
I love it. I love it. So I love talking about how you can help other women, obviously all of these things, but if somebody's just starting out as a woman entrepreneur, what would you recommend how they should start? Whether I would probably start with pink icing. Let's go there first.
Yeah. So if you just started a business, you've never had a business. Well, first it's a mindset. We'll go to Kimberly for the mindset. So it's first a mindset thing. And what I mean by that is a lot of times you'll find business owners, not just women business owners, but I know we're speaking directly to women business owners, but business owners will come into space and they'll say, you know what, I'm starting this new business. It's all new. And okay, where do I go from here? And they go into it as if they're starting literally from point A or step one, as if they didn't have all of this experience beforehand. Now, yes, it may be a new business, but you could have been doing whatever it is that you're doing for 5, 10, 15, 20 years prior to. So first, going in with it, the mindset of being true to yourself about the experience that you do have in this space to operate this business is important. And the reason it's important because what I find is a lot of people will come into the space with not the confidence to really launch the business and really go with it 110% because they feel like they're lacking because they're a new business. Now, I just explained pink icing is only 2 years old. However, I'm not a 2-year-old business owner. I have 20 years experience. I've done this over and over and over again. I've built brands, I've scaled businesses, I've helped organizations, all that stuff counts. So when it comes to what it is that you want to do in your own industry, everything before that counts. You're not new. It's a new business, but you're not new to this space. You have been here. And so I think the mindset on that piece is super important before going in. And then once you go in, depending where you are, you want to think about the investment it's going to take in order to get you started and where you want to go. A business is an investment, right? And a business is about investing in not only your business, but yourself, your community, your clients, those that your network, those that are around you. And so really making sure you make that shift mentally from, you know, if you're coming from a 9 to 5 and now becoming a business owner, you're making that shift. So it's not like someone like a 9 to 5, how you come in, you clock in or not clock in and you get paid, right? No, a business is you're investing in your dream. You're investing in your vision. You're investing in you, right? And what it is that you want to do in order to affect the world around you. And so going into it with those two things as far as mindset is important, because when you start making these decisions about what you want to invest in, for example, Pink Icing, we're a full service marketing agency. So we do everything from building your brand from the very beginning, visual brand, all the way to complex automated sales funnels, marketing, all kinds of stuff, right? We do all of that. So from the very beginning to the end, and we create what's called our forever clients, because we just continue to build with you and scale you at each level. And so when you start looking at those things cost. So as you start thinking about, you know, what are the first few steps, or what are the first few things you need to be thinking about, is that mindset piece, and that's looking at this as an investment, and what are you going to do? How are you going to take that investment and make best use of that investment? Now, if you're starting where you don't have a large investment, that's not necessarily needed. There's obviously things you can do yourself. You know, yeah, you may need to wear multiple hats for a period of time, but do know that you're doing this for a period of time and not like the full course of your business. So having the plan down of like, okay, this is where I'm going to start. I'm going to make sure that I do these things very well. I'm going to make sure that the free platforms that I'm using, whether it be social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, I'm going to do those with excellence, right? Because those are things that I have control over, that I can monitor my costs. There are free platforms, things like that. So things that you can do that are no to low cost, you want to be excellent in those things. Now, if you do have investment to move further down into what it is that you're doing to build your business, obviously everything you do and how you invest in your business is what's going to accelerate the growth and the success of your business. If you try to do everything yourself, or you try to do no low cost and freebie all the time or for long periods of time, that's going to considerably slow your the success and the momentum that you can get. So it's important to kind of plan out things as far as starting point, and then where you want to be as far as investing in the things that you need to grow the business. So that's kind of where I would start with all of that. And, you know, Pink Icing does it all. So, you know, we do A to Z full service. So. Uh-oh, you're on, I think you're on mute, Kimberly.
Thank you.
There you are.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
First time.
Into an investment, those are that at that time, that's kind of when you'll start having conversation with me about like what your needs are, what is it that you're trying to achieve, what is it that you want to do, what is your brand presence now, what do you want that to look like. So having those conversations is important, but what makes us unique in a way is we're very flexible with strategy and with ways to do things. There's not a cookie cutter way. And so literally it's almost like this live show. I show up, and we have that conversation and we dig deep into what it is that you have going on, what it is that you want to do. And then we're able to create something around that based on where you are currently. And so with that, obviously we have a myriad of, products and services that are able to support what it is that you want to do as well. And so all it takes at that point is just kind of plugging in those pieces to get you to where you're wanting to go. And then from that point, you're working with our team to really flesh out all of those different things that you want to do in your space. So
ability that you have because of your experience can really help propel somebody really quick.
yeah, I feel like that's like the secret sauce as far as, there's a couple things with the agency. It's just, you don't know how all of this stuff before, like your experience, as I was talking about that mindset thing, is really going to help you in what you're doing today. And so leverage what it is that you have behind you, because it really does put you in a winning position, which is basically what has happened with us. And then even growing our team, right now, I'm really, working through, being able to, like I said, clone myself in some of these different areas where these conversations can not only just happen with me, but with other people on my team, so that we can really service more business owners, because I feel that that's definitely important to be able to keep the doors. I mean, I'm only going to have so many spots on calendar, right?
Right.
But right now, it's worked very, very well. Our team is amazing. Like when it comes to the vision of what we see for different brands and kind of the thing that we want to do and how we want to kind of propel them into the next level of where they're going. We work in amazing synergy, and I just absolutely love it. We're like a family in-house. Like my team is like a family. So again, it's still all about that community, no matter if it's a handful of us or if it's thousands of us. It's still about that community. And, because we live and breathe that internally, it then obviously comes out and then just continues to grow from there. And so we just love the work that we do, and we feel that we do take a very unique kind of road and perspective to how we're doing all these things. We're not the typical marketing agency. Like when you go to certain digital ad agencies or marketing agencies, they do a certain menu of things. Everybody's in their own zone, not knocking anyone else, but this is our unique piece that we have. We are creators at the core. And we love to create experiences, no matter if it's through visual brand or if it's actual experiences or if it's creating platforms like what we've done for KP Media TV. And that's what excites a lot of our clients too, because as they grow, we're able to continue to support them, which is our forever client. We can support you on those levels of growth. So exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
And being able to help people as they up level, you're able to still take them to another level and yet another level. Yeah. And when people can sit down and business owners can sit down and go, oh my gosh, I can literally start from this point and wind up here and have a plan to get there. And it's really easy. It's a very fast tracked. I love the term collapsing time. and it really accelerates your success.
Absolutely.
And that's exciting.
Absolutely. And that, you know what, that's the benefit of not doing everything all yourself, or wearing these multiple hats for a long term, because there is going to become a time where you need to invest in yourself and your business. It's just, there's no way around it. Like, I wish I could tell you that there was an easy way to kind of cut out all of the costs that it takes to actually build a highly successful business and build it at an accelerated pace, but it truly is not. You have to end up getting, no different than we have a team, right? Like, I have a team. Like, I have a team that they're skilled in specific areas. That's an investment. I'm investing in the business by having a team. I'm investing in the training for the team. I'm investing in myself. That's another thing you mentioned, those growth levels. I stay up to, I'm always a student. At the same time, I'm an expert, I'm a student. I stay current with everything that's changing, whether it's platforms, whatever it is. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to invest in my team, and I'm going to allow myself to run this as a business and not clocking in as a 9-to-5, because it's very, very different. And so when you look at it that way and you come out of the space of trying to do it all yourself, or these DIY projects, yeah, sometimes starting out, because you have to do what you have to do to start out. I wouldn't say wait. You start out where you need to start out, but definitely having your mind that you're going to need to get to this next level and need that level of support to get you there. Because my experience, your experience may be in, your industry, and that's your zone, you're amazing at it, but maybe not so much so in marketing and branding. So when you bring someone along, whether it's, a marketing agency, or if it's your accountant, or like whatever that expert is that you need to plug in, you're now getting all of their years of experience in all of their zone of genius, something you didn't have before. So that's value. I don't think, especially when we start talking about newer business owners, I don't think we value enough and hold enough of importance in building that network or that core group of professionals or experts around you that can really get you to these next levels of growth. And we try to do it all ourselves. We try to do, if it was about a marketing one-on-one free webinar and you can learn everything right there, and then your business can grow to 6, 7, 8 figures, then everyone would do that. Like, no, it's like, look at my experience. I talked about 20 plus years. I talked about multiple businesses. I talked about launching and scaling, working with local government organizations. I don't think I mentioned that, but doing that. I talked about events. I talked about all of that. And that's well beyond a marketing 101 free webinar. You're just not going to get the same results. Just like someone stepping into your space, your zone of genius, and the results that you get for your clients are not going to be able to get those type of results by taking a 1-hour webinar one day and they're able to operate at your capacity. It's just not going to happen. So that's why it's so important. That's kind of the other thing for business owners to understand, especially new coming into space. And even if you're not new coming into space, if you're wondering why can I not hit that next level? Well, you need to start thinking about, how are you investing in yourself? Are you investing in yourself? Like, are you not only investing in yourself, but are you investing in a team, a support system, something that's going to get you to where it is that you're trying to go?
I love it. That's such important advice. And here we can look at you, the founder owner of a marketing agency that's from A to Z.
Right.
The founder owner of a network. Yeah. And you're sitting here saying, I have to invest in myself. I'm not just the expert and the teacher, I'm also a student.
Right.
And to really grasp what you're saying is, in order to get to that next level, you really got to call in the people that can help you get there. Yes.
So very important. You always have to remain a student. Like you can't ever get too expert for yourself. This world is changing so rapidly. Technology is changing so rapidly. Everything around us is just evolving all the time. And so you definitely have to have your finger at the pulse of these changes and what's going on, especially when it comes to your own industry. But definitely, building that team around you. I'm not, one of the things, you kind of start, especially with our new business, the solopreneur life and all of that. I'm not a fan really of the solopreneur life. I know, there's those, when we start in those spaces, and that's fine. But I really feel like having that CEO mentality, that team managed business type of mentality is what's going to get you where you're trying to go. Because we're saying we want freedom, we want to be able to expand and accelerate, and we want all these different things. But what we're actually describing is a team managed business, is a CEO position. We're not describing solopreneur, because solopreneur, you're doing all your stuff, you're super busy. You know, even though I'm still super busy, but I'm just saying you're super busy as far as like you're doing all of the tasks. You're trying to learn all of the things to activate those things in your business. You're doing all of this. That does not align with what it is that you want on this other end. So when we start talking about the freedom to do X, Y, and Z, to operate in the thing that you want to operate in, like for me, because I have more of a team managed business and I think more of the CEO mentality, in my business, I operate in my zone of genius, the thing that I want to do. So that is talking to people, that is helping them understand and uncover their holes, their gaps, their opportunities. That's the part that I love doing. And then I have a team that understands, you know, the business, that understands where we are as a brand, as a company, and understands the different components of how we support our clients, that are able to then push things out that are absolutely beautiful. And so if you want to get to, and it's just these small little, it's not like you go from like, because we're talking 2 years, right? Kimberly, I just told you, this business is 2 years old. This business is not 20 years old. KP Media TV is like 3 months old with 2 months of live debuting, right? But we have debuting coming in every single month. We have over 20 plus network hosts now. That's in less than, I mean, the insane growth, I'm telling you from experience. This is how you do it. You start from, you know, just these small little incremental changes about how you first think, mindset, get with Kimberly, mindset. Okay, so you start with that, and then you start making these small changes. So what is it going to take for you to be in a space where you're just only operating in your zone of genius, whatever that is? So everything that's outside of that, you know, those are things that you're going to have to build a team and support system around. Ultimately, that's where you want to be, because then you're able to show up in your zone, do the things that you just enjoy. You can do it all day long. And have no problem with it, would absolutely enjoy it. And then everything else in your business is being handled. And so when you start looking at those other those other external things that are outside of like your zone and kind of the things that you love to do, start figuring out those small changes. Maybe it's like, oh, I'll outsource a part-time position for this piece of my business. It could literally start from there. I'll get a subscription-based type of staffing package to deal with this part of my business. And then what you'll find as you build your team, your business will grow. We hired our first person probably almost a year ago. It grew beyond her. I had to hire a second person. It grew behind her, beyond that person. So now we're a team of 1, 2, 3, including me, we're a team of 5. Every time you add someone, and you strategically put them in a position where the ROI is considered in what tasks they're going to be doing, your business grows. You cannot do the work of 5 people, 3 people, 2 people, not even one other person. You can only do the work of what you do. And so when you start thinking about it like that, you'll start chipping away little by little at the things that need to happen in your business, so then you can get to those next levels of growth. And not too many people talk about that.
No.
It's that solopreneur life, and that like, hey, yeah, that's hustle and bustle, and I don't like that. I like ease and flow. I like working in my zone. I like showing up on Kimberly's show, all of this stuff while work is still being done, while you're giving other people jobs, while you're supporting other families because they have work. Like, you're able to do all of these things, and then you are the strategist behind your business. Yeah. Because remember, you're the strategist. You're the one that you know what your people need. You're at the pulse of it. You're having these conversations. And because you know so well what your people need, then ultimately you know the type of support that you're going to need in order to support that thing, right?
Yeah.
So That's my tip of the hour.
Such brilliance. I just love and adore you. I think, that's kind of like the ultimate goal. You want to be able to keep building and scaling your business until you're at that point where you have a team and it's running like a well-oiled machine. Yes. In any industry. I mean, that could even be the restaurant industry. It does not matter what industry you're in. That is truly the ultimate goal, because that allows you to step into your creative mind. It allows you to be able to help and do more things. And that is where we all want to be. I love it. Keisha, thank you so much for being on the show. I want to make sure people know how to reach out to you. So Pink Icing, getpinkicing.com. And then the TV show, if anybody's interested in thinking about doing that, woohoo, kpmediatv.tv. And then if you want to reach out and talk to Keisha, just send her an email at keishak@getpinkicing.com. Ask her any questions, maybe book a call and see how she can help you. Keisha, I just absolutely love and adore you. You are such a wealth of information. I love what you do. I love how you help people, and thank you for creating the platforms that you do to really expand and up-level. I
Thank you. I know, right? I'm in it. Thank you so much. I so appreciate being on your show. This was exciting. You know, I always love talking. I can just talk forever, literally. But thank you so much, Kimberly, for